What's going on? It's the Johnny Long podcast. Yeah, baby. It's Monday night.
All right.
April 10th. It's the Mel and John show. It's the Mel John.
Hey,
What's going on, Mel?
not much, Big John. How you doing?
Doing great. I always enjoy our conversations. I don't know if I don't know if you realize how much I look forward to it, but especially being down here in Mexico a lot, like I don't have the opportunity to speak
Well, it's the
English.
craziest thing because you're talking to a Mexican on the phone right now. Come on, man. The one person you choose to talk to on your podcast.
Well, hey, you
Ain't
know
that
what?
some shit?
Yeah, that's cool. That's
So
cool.
yeah, man. I mean, we have a lot in common. You know, we have a lot of difference, but like we were talking about the other night, the uniqueness of the situation is we figured out that although I don't agree with everything you say, you don't agree with what I say most of the time. The core values are there. We're Americans.
Right, you got to
We
give
grew up in a time where, right?
you
Go ahead.
got to give
My bad.
you got to give the other person their space, their opportunity to talk and not try to cut them off, talk them over, talk over them.
Exactly. You're
Blow
100% right.
blow a whistle, like I don't understand like this, they're blowing whistles and it's like, look, man, um respect the other person. You talk, I
Well,
talk.
it's very so. What's happening right now in the politic, scheme of America, is it was predictable and it's easy to explain. So nobody has patience anymore, right? It's the
Exactly.
right now, right here culture. We don't sit down and fix a TV anymore. It's just easier to order another one on Amazon. It's the same day.
That's
We're the
another
throwaway
that's
issue now.
another subject. Like I was just thinking about that today.
Well, no. The difference is it ties into exactly what I'm about to say. Hold on, I gotta get my Tesla Bluetooth.
I'm speaking to my buddy
Hello?
Melvin, and he's a really cool Californian because he has a Tesla electric car that he charges.
Yeah, yeah. It's a gift and a curse. This is a topic. It's a whole other topic.
now, come July, August, and September, Melvin, remember you cannot charge your. Don't run your electric appliances and don't charge your car between the time of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. because there's no electricity.
Well, I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, what do we do? When you're in California, what do? You just roll with the punches and do the best you can. That's basically become our culture.
Well, remember like Texas, like when they went to privatize their electric grid system and it was all going really well, and then they had that big freeze and um,
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have a little bit of knowledge about the electrical grid in California, right?
okay, please do.
There's one city in Northern California that does superior to us. And this, I can send you the video of it in 1985, right? They
Okay.
were complaining in San Diego about having high electricity rates. It's on CBS on YouTube. You can actually look it up. High electricity rates in San Diego, and then they were talking to people in San Francisco, right? They
Okay.
have the highest in the country. Just 60 miles east of them, though, there was a city that had the lowest electricity rates in the country.
They had a
And
different agreement with different power grid providers.
well, no, it's when California wasn't a pussy state. It's
Okay.
when California built things and when California government actually got things done, right? San Francisco got hit hard because
Who was the governor during this time period?
I
Well,
couldn't tell you that.
all right. Well, Reagan was what in the 70s?
Reagan wasn't Reagan. We're going to Reagan. That's a whole hot topic for
All
me.
right.
Reagan was a great leader in some ways. He did a lot for Mexicans with amnesty, but he also
Uh,
took our gun rights away. But
all
we
right.
can talk about that
Anyway, I'm
a whole.
interrupting you. I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
So the people in San Francisco were saying their average bills were back then, which is a long time ago, $35. They're complaining, right?
Right.
San Diego, 26, $27. We're complaining. Um, but just like I said, 60 miles away east in Sacramento, their electricity bills were $15, $10,
Yeah, why?
right?
I mean, like, we're not even like we're stone's throw away, and like, why are you guys?
Well, this is the problem. The people of Sacramento voted in. Back then, they were very conservative. They voted in that they're not, they're going to invest millions of dollars up front on nuclear and all, as well as hydroelectric, right, from their river.
Actually, nuclear's
Um,
is the way we should go right now, but keep
and that's
going.
the problem. I'm a huge Obama fan, right?
Right?
Huge Obama fan. He did a lot of good, but he did a lot of bad. Him decommissioning all of our nukes was stupid. We weren't ready for it. San Onofre shouldn't have been decommissioned. It should have been reconditioned.
I
You know,
know a lot about San Onofre because it's by San
that
Clemente.
should have been fixed. That would have. Now it's just, right now we're waiting for a meltdown. All it takes is, a few people to make a mistake and that thing melts down. It's still hot.
All right, I want
It
to
just
let
is.
you finish your story, and then I want to tell you a little something about San
Okay.
Onofre.
So what I'm getting at is, yeah, the electricity grid's going to be a problem every summer. But the more electric cars come on the road in California, because we don't have the electricity capacity to cover it. We
Yeah,
barely have enough to cover conditioners going on an 80-degree, 100-degree day.
yeah, and why is
And
Chevy
even
saying by 2035 we're not gonna make gas petrol? Like that's stupid.
well, let me tell you something. I'm going to clarify this really easy, and it's. I'm a Democrat. I'm a progressive. I'm not a liberal, but I'm a progressive. But
Right?
I admit when my party's wrong.
All right, go ahead, go
Um,
ahead. I'm interrupting you again.
no, this is something that could be looked up. Biden's granddaughter works for GM's electric division.
Yeah, I know that. Yep.
So with that, why wouldn't he do that to promote his granddaughter? She's getting favors. She's in a high position she probably doesn't deserve. And that happens on both sides. We
Yeah,
had
and
Jared Kushner.
I mean, and then
You know,
look at his son. He's in a position he probably doesn't deserve with Burisma, and
right?
you know,
He's a crackhead. We can all
yeah.
admit that. I don't think
Okay, all
I
right,
really.
all right. That's another
But
subject, but okay, keep
different
going.
topic. But what I'm getting at is California is an imprint of what the country is going to have to deal with in the next 20 to 30 years as a whole. Texas is growing fast. We've already seen their grid go down, right? In a major way.
Yeah,
Ours, yeah, we do rolling blackouts because we kind of understand having a massive population how to handle electricity. So we do rolling blackouts. So we're only a couple blocks, they turned off and this and that, and they just roll through them. I get what they do. It's inconvenient. It sucks, but it is what it is. You want to live in California, you pay a certain price.
and the
Um,
electric power grid. It's so funny. It's like the stock exchange almost. Like the way these companies buy and transfer, and okay, we're gonna pay you this much between these hours, and like you like
right.
it's a system that
So
people don't.
California has something that's called CPUC.
What's that about?
CPUC is California Utility Public Act work.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, 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 yeah. Public Utilities Commission. Yeah,
commission,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So with CPUC, they determine what you're going to pay with electricity and hikes. Any hike you have is done through the state. It's actually not sanctioned by the electricity company you know
Right,
that
it's a
you have.
California thing, but if you're going to
The
provide
state.
electricity to our state, you have to do this,
Well, what
this, and
bothers me is a lot of people don't understand that. And this is big news in California, in San Diego, like when they raise the rates, double the rates, whatever, right?
right,
People attacked SCG&E and said SCG&E and the people were, horrible people. They're trying to get profits, blah, blah, blase, blase, right?
right,
Okay. The problem is they had no control over that. Those hikes were going to happen regardless if it's the state of California only, company. It
yeah,
was determined before.
yeah. You have a
And
governing body that's got nothing to do with them.
the whole thing is SDG&E doesn't make a dime more, and I know this for a fact. They don't make a dime more for what they charge you for the actual electricity, right?
Okay.
The electricity, the gas, all that stuff is a commodity that they charge you directly what they get charged,
So where do they make their
right?
money? How do they make their money?
They make their money through transmitting it. They are, did you know that they are licensed through the DOT?
I did not know
Department
that.
of Defense? They are licensed through the federal government to transport electricity and gas. They make money through their
Wait,
infrastructure.
wait, wait, wait,
So
wait a second. Wait a second. You have to get licensed to transport energy?
yes, yes, and that's 100% fact. Yes,
Oh my God,
in the
that's
state of
news to
California,
me. See, this is what I like
because
about talking to you, man. Like, you have to
so
get a
check it out.
license to transport energy.
Every single employee for any electric or gas company in the state of California is DOT regulated.
Oh,
That means they live by the federal law. So California could change the law right now to where they don't drug test for marijuana, right?
I
Which
think
they've done in a lot of fields.
actually,
The
I think they've
problem
been doing that for a while in Cali.
the problem is if you work for the electric company, you're not regulated by the state of California. You're regulated by the federal government, so you don't get that clause.
Oh my God, Mike, you're under the administration of Pete Buttplug Buttigieg.
So check this out. If you get a DUI right in the state of California, they
Right.
can't fire you until the DUI goes through, right? So you're
Convicted.
convicted.
Yeah.
Well, and even then, it's a hard push to fire you over it, depending on what you do for a living. That's technical, that's legal. But the government, the federal government, can fire you the second they see that come through on their lot that you got a DUI. They can fire you on the spot.
Whether or not you're convicted or not, just the fact
Right,
that it shows up. Wow.
right, because it's part of their policy. So what I'm saying, what I'm getting at, like, I'm getting a little off topic.
No, no,
So
I like where you're going. Yeah, you're doing good.
the federal government regulates a lot of it. CPUC, the state of California, regulates the prices, right?
Right?
Because they're going to charge taxes on these prices. So guess what? For them to raise the price, it benefits them. So then you have the other side of it. You have SDG&E, which in the last 20 years has not raised their transmission rates, right? But you have a
Last.
situation.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
they haven't raised the transmission rates. They've raised the price of the gas and electric, right? Because they had to, because this is what they're paying for it, right?
Right.
But they haven't raised their transmission rates in almost 20 years, since like 2004.
Okay.
So you're paying, if you pay a $300 bill in San Diego County or in LA, Edison, about 10 to 12% of that is going to the actual electric company as their profit to transmit it.
Yeah, but you're talking, how many millions of people? Yeah.
Doesn't
No.
matter. So if
Right.
you had a business, right? If you had a business and you sold bread, right?
Yeah, you have
The
to have
government
a
told you,
25%, like 25%. You're not doing good.
and that's why they could go to 10 to 12%, is because the state's so big, right? And our
Right.
grid's very healthy. Overall, our grid's very healthy.
Right.
There's not a huge amount of
Well,
maintenance needed on it.
it's like a home loan in Mexico. A home loan in Mexico is for like 60,000. You can't
Plus
charge.
high interest.
Yeah, your interest rate's going to be a lot higher because the loan's only 60,000.
Well, it's like a home loan in Texas.
Yeah.
Think about it. Everybody talks about how cheap Texas is, right? Until you go to buy a house. Oh,
Yeah.
the house is cheap, but even after you buy the house, right, you pay for it. For the rest of the time you own that house, did you know that their um, real estate tax is twice our level?
So let's say
Their
let's say you buy a
property
house.
tax,
Let's say you're some dude from Cali that rolls to Texas because he's just tired
right,
of it. He's done. So
right,
he buys a $800,000 house in Texas. What's his
right.
property tax? What?
It is twice as much as the state of California at any given time. Right now, it's twice as much.
Well, in
It's been
Cali,
twice as
he'd
much for
probably pay like what, 8,000 a year?
1.7 million for it. Oh no, it's all relative. So this is what I'm getting at. There's a politic behind this. There's a way these states make money.
Right,
They don't
right.
charge the income tax, right? What they're banking on is their property is going to keep going up in value, right?
As it
As
should.
more and more Californians.
As it should.
Right. The problem is in California, your shit's high, sky high. At the end of the day, it's not going to go much higher. It can't. You hit a certain ceiling where people just can't afford homes, right?
That would be
So we're
me.
gonna hit that.
Yeah.
We're gonna hit that ceiling, right? A lot of people have. So you get the guy in
Everybody.
California. You get the guy in California that bought a house 15 years ago. He has a lot of money in equity now, right? He
Hell
sells
yeah.
that house. This is Texas's worst nightmare. He
Well, in
sells that fucking
California, you
house.
got capital gains tax.
There's ways around that, but yeah,
Yeah,
for the
as
most
long as
part,
you buy another property, blah, blah, blah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what you're having now, and this is my mother being a real estate agent, she told me that people are playing this game. They're gaming the system. What
Right.
they'll do is they'll go out and buy a house in El Centro, a condo, whatever, the cheapest thing they could buy,
Right.
$150,000.
Right.
They don't have to pay cap gains on any of that money that they made, the 700, 800,000. Now they own a property still, you know, that's still going to hold its value. It's not going to go much lower than that. And then
Yeah.
they move to Texas. They rent that property. Check this out. They move to Texas tax free, right?
Yeah.
They buy it. They go to Texas and they have a good job. They transfer. They work from home. Whatever their situation, right? They
Right.
move to Dallas, Frisco, Texas, a big one. You can look it up. San Marcos, Texas,
Yeah, they're doing the
massive
right
city.
thing. As far as they're concerned, they're doing the right thing. So
But for the
what's the
Texan,
drawback? What's the drawback?
the drawback is the Texans are realizing what California and San Diego especially realized in the 90s and the 80s. When people from the Bay Area moved out here and people from the East Coast and the Midwest that were from rich cities moved out here, right? They're realizing and they're complaining, they're upset. You can talk to any Texan,
Uh-huh.
anybody from Idaho, any of these states that we're moving to heavy, right?
Right.
They're upset because we come in and we don't negotiate. I want that house on the lake. Oh, it's up for 600,000. You already have a buyer. Cool. I'll pay 7 right now.
Sold.
Right. Or the
Yeah.
buyer comes back. Now you're forcing people that are indigenous to the area that are making a certain amount of money and have a certain lifestyle to change their lifestyle. So they hate us for
But
that.
that's going on all over America. Like I remember
No, but the
Oregon.
big problem.
Remember?
Hold up. The big. Let me finish. Here,
All
hear
right.
me
All right.
out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go
The
ahead.
big problem with that. The big problem with that
What?
is remember I told you Texas has twice the real estate tax that we do, the property tax that we do. So
Okay.
when that shit goes up, their tax goes up. You know what I mean? Every time people move into a neighborhood and raise the price by 100,000, 50,000, 100,000 is constantly happening. Now it's negating them paying income tax because your
So
property tax is so high.
So what's happening is because all these people are going there and inflating the actual cost and value of the property, the
Right.
the property taxes are getting to a point where they can afford to honk their own
Exactly.
honk their own horn and say, "Look at us." So that being said, um, all these Californians, all these people going to Texas, Nevada, all these states, no state taxes. Um,
Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Florida, Jacksonville, like all over the country they're doing this, right? And they have higher property taxes because they always had cheaper homes, you know? Even up north,
but
Portland,
okay, let
Oregon,
me finish. Let me
Seattle.
finish. The reason they're going there is even though it might be double, um, not now, but like the average price house in California right now, like a piece of shit basic house. Not, I shouldn't say piece of shit, but you know,
Right.
six hundred
Well,
thousand. And you go
come on,
to
man.
you go to Tennessee, and it's like 400,000.
I
So
understand that.
yeah,
And
so
it's not even 400, it's probably like 250, 300,000. It's much cheaper, right?
not to mention, there's a reason why you're leaving. You don't
Well,
like
the homeless problem, the crime problems, all that shit,
yeah,
right?
all that,
Is
right.
attached
So
to
you
homeless.
want to go to if it ain't
A
broke,
place to
don't
raise your kids.
if it ain't broke, don't you want to go to an old school country like you have all these people escaping California for a reason.
Okay. And
It
I completely agree. California's a
yeah,
fucking mess.
it's a
It's a
mess.
huge mess,
Yeah,
right?
and
So okay, so let's
I'm
look at
fourth.
let's look at
I'm
what's the number.
fourth generation Cali. Like I love the beach. I love like the snow skiing. The like Ronald Reagan
So,
Bonzo
so
goes
let me ask a quick question. What's the number one problem in California? The number one,
number one. It used to be
homeless.
yeah, it used to be water, but
I'm
after
saying besides the price, if you can afford to live in California, what would be your number one issue?
oh, I hate getting molested by fuckheads. Like I'm trying to
Homeless people, right?
yeah, I hate getting molested by fuckheads and people shitting on the street,
Okay.
masturbating in
So
public.
so
Yeah.
California is a ruined, an amazingly ruined state, a gorgeous state with probably the best terrain in the
How
world.
do you let
In the world.
how do you let people openly shoot drugs and masturbate in public
Oh,
and
when
you
you
know,
get overrun, when you get overrun with homeless people, it happens. It's happened in
when you
European
what?
countries.
Wait, I when
When
you
you when you get overrun with homeless people, right? You no longer have the resources, the capital to deal with them, right?
well, hell, the state's giving them 800 a month or whatever like
I know that's the feds doing that through the state. So
yeah.
let's look at the problem here, though. So we can go all the way back in the big wagon circle. So a lot of Republican leaders to talk down on California for the homeless problem, right? That's one of the number one things: drugs, crime that the homeless people bring, right?
Well, one thing we can agree upon is the fact is it's not a Democrat, it's
No,
not
no,
a
no, no, no. Let me
Republican.
finish.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
this
Let me
actually.
finish. Let me finish. This isn't a partisan issue. This is a
It is. It's
Oh,
very a bit partisan. You're
okay.
not letting me finish. You're
Go ahead.
stopping me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So and I'm going to make it quick. The
No,
funny thing is, the same governments, Republican run, conservative run governments, yes, they're doing the best with what's best for their states, right?
right?
What's best for their cities. The problem is they're sending their homeless to California. $200 in their pocket and a bus ticket to come to California. Who wouldn't take that if you're in a freezing state or a hot state?
And these are the
So
other
they come.
49 states saying, "Go to California, young man. There's gold in the Nether Hills."
Right. So when you're a state, you're trying to run a state, right? I don't agree with Gavin Newsom. I don't like him. He's a slime ball. He's a piece of shit. I'll admit when my people are wrong, right?
Yeah.
But then you have someone like Mitt Romney talking about how fucked up California is. But his state is known. Salt Lake City gets rid of all their homeless people. Nevada, Arizona, all the way out to Oklahoma, Chicago, all these cities, these states are sending Florida, sending people west. Texas, send them west. Republican states. So they're sending all their shit so they don't have to pay for it long term. And we get stuck with it.
Who's we?
California, because they
Democrats?
don't leave.
Democrats?
No, Californians. It's not just
No,
the
no, no, no,
Democrats that live
no,
over.
no, no. Like let's get it straight. Let's just talk.
Well,
Can we
politically,
You know Joan
politically,
Rivers?
yes.
Do you know Joan Rivers? Can we talk? Can we talk? Can we
Uh huh.
talk, Melvin? Can we talk?
Definitely talk.
All right. Joan Rivers, one of my favorite female, doesn't matter if she's female, favorite comedian. You know that other expression, it's not too politically correct. Can a nigga get a table dance? Like some black guy in a.
Right.
Yeah. Joan Rivers, can we talk? All right. California's been Democratic for how long?
40 plus years.
All right. So that's why they're all here. Okay. So
No,
that. No?
that's not.
Oh.
That's absolutely not. If you were homeless in Arizona, right? Or homeless in Florida, right? And the climate's better here, the people have more
Wait,
money
wait,
here,
wait,
you're more
wait,
likely.
wait, wait. Climate. Homeless climate. If it's cold, you're cold. If it's wet and it's rainy and you live in Seattle, so all the homeless people can come to San Diego and it's like, my God, it doesn't rain here much. It's not that
People
cold.
are nice. People are
Uh,
nice. It's a nice.
yeah, and God,
But we have this problem.
yeah,
We create a cesspool.
yeah,
So when I see people moving to other states, and these states are complaining, a lot of them complain they hate Californians, right?
right.
I'm like, I don't feel bad for you. They're leaving because you're sending your bullshit here and they're raising your prices. So one way or another, you're gonna pay. And let's not forget the people that moved here back in the 30s and 20s for more opportunity, right? Well, they moved here from other states, so now they're just going home. A lot of them, right? Most
Wait,
people move
wait,
to a
wait,
state
wait.
where
You're throwing out 30s and 20s. Okay, that was like before the depression. All right.
that was around the time that the um not the Great Depression. A lot of people came west. There was a lot going on here, a lot of growth, right? We were one of the states that didn't really get hit as hard
Why is
because we
the
were
San Francisco football team called the 49ers?
because of the big rush in 1849.
Oh my God! Like you're the first person like in a long time that actually.
Let me ask you a quick question. Why do they call the Lakers Los Angeles Lakers the Lakers?
Well, they're originally from the city of Minneapolis, land of a thousand lakes,
Player, basketball player. Okay, quick one after that. Why do they call the Los Angeles Dodgers the Dodgers?
because they were from Brooklyn.
Why do they call them the Dodgers in Brooklyn?
Actually, Dodgers. What's a Dodger? Like,
There's a story behind that.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
story
No,
behind that.
tell me seriously. Tell me right now.
So everybody thinks they assume that it's because they had the Dodgers, the trolley cars, right? Well, New York never had trolley cars. They have, underground. They've always had subways,
Right,
right?
right, right.
But New York did have electric buses back in like the 1910s, 1915, around
No
that time,
way.
right?
Get out. Get out. You had
And
to
electric
dodge.
buses, you had to step over those. You had to dodge
No
the fucking bus.
way.
You had to dodge the electric bus lines because if you stepped
Seriously?
on them,
Seriously?
yes, they were electrified.
Wow.
If you stepped on that rail, you would fry. So you had to dodge the rails. Brooklyn,
Oh my
5 million people
goodness.
live there. It's a big city by any stretch.
And it's so
Bigger
funny.
than
It's so funny nowadays. Like like these new expansion teams. Like we have to pick a new name, like Jacksonville Jaguars or
so,
oh the
so we know.
Washington. Like what the fuck's up with Washington Redskins? Like what the fuck's wrong with
I
Redskin?
think that was stupid because I really don't think that any Native American really gave a shit except for
They
the
don't
butthurt
give a
little fuck.
shit. That was politics.
It's actually, it's not even politics. It was a sense of pride. They love the Chiefs. They love the Indians. You know why it was a sense of pride? You named a team after our race. It's a
Yeah,
symbol of
yeah. You
strength.
got Kansas City Chiefs.
The
You still
Patriots.
you got
I,
the
hold
Atlanta
up.
Braves.
Hold
Like,
up.
why the
Let me
fuck can't
finish.
you have
You have,
Washington Redskins?
I know, but listen to this. You
You
have the
know why?
Celtics.
Because it's
Hold up.
Washington. It's Washington.
You have the Celtics. You have the New England Patriots. You don't see white people upset about that.
No, no. The
Why
only
would you?
reason, the only reason the Washington, like for 1 year, they were called the Washington Football Team. What are they called now? I don't even know.
They're Commanders now, and that
Oh,
makes sense because
oh
Commanders.
God. Oh God, give me
It
a
doesn't
fucking
make sense.
break. No, no,
I
no,
don't.
no, no, no. They're the Washington Redskins.
I
They're the
don't agree with them.
Washington.
I don't agree with them taking away, but at least they gave it a fitting name. If they're going to
That's
replace
the
it, give
only
it.
city. That's the only city. You got the Atlanta Braves. You got the Kansas City Chiefs. You've got, you got all these other cities with references, to the Indian culture, but reference Indian in Washington. Nope. Sorry. Can't
Well, the
can't do
reason
it.
they did that shit, the reason they did that shit, and it's stupid. I agree. And they tried to do it with the Indians. They tried to do it with the Braves. They truly did. It just didn't work. Washington.
Oh.
If that's the case, let's get rid of the Aztecs. Hold up, let's get rid of the Aztecs. That's offensive to
Exactly.
Mexicans.
Like Jesus Christ. I'm sorry I'm cussing, but the only
No,
city
but
the only city this was possible to happen where you had to change the name of your NFL team was the city of Washington. I'm sorry. What does that
I agree
tell
with
you? What does that tell
that's
you?
that's just it, like I said, I will never deny.
Politics.
I'm a truth person. Like I will never deny our screw ups. But
Right.
when I call your screw ups, I mean 100%. You know, not yours, but you know the Republican side, the conservative
No, no,
side.
no. I love
I
I
mean,
love how I gotta, you gotta actually
but I'll admit,
you put me in check
I'll admit,
sometimes. It's totally what's the word? It's totally god damn it. Deserved, or you know. I love how
well,
you
my
put
whole thing,
I love how you put me
the
in check.
the truth is the truth, regardless. And sometimes you put me
Right.
in check, you correct me on something I don't understand. I'm like, oh shit, I really didn't know that. You lived it, you understand it because you were there, and I'm like, oh shit,
Right.
I
We
had no
got
clue.
2 decades difference in our age, you know?
Right. So there's going to be discrepancies on my side, stuff that somebody wrote wrong, whatever. But when you say it, it makes sense, and I look it up. I'm like, okay, cool. There was
Yeah,
another
you look shit up
viewpoint.
too much, man. God damn, I can't believe you got a lot of free time on your hand.
So a quick story behind that, right?
What? Right, what?
When I was in third grade, I got in a lot of trouble, right?
Okay.
And a teacher didn't like me. I used to make her cry all the time. I was a bad little shit, right?
Not you.
So
No, no, not you.
so she puts me in the retarded class, the special ed class. And I
Yeah,
remember walking
okay.
in that
Yeah.
class with shoulders down, my head down, like fuck, I'm
They
stupid.
did the same thing to my first son, yeah.
You know what ended up happening?
What?
Biggest blessing in my life. This big, tall Nordic lady. She looked like the wife on Rambo,
I love
the
how you
Russian wife.
said Nordic. I'm Nordic.
Big, tall. She had the accent, everything. She ate sardines for lunch. You know what I mean? She was cool, but she was
Perfect.
fucking different. Right?
Yeah,
But she
perfect.
was cool.
Yeah.
She worked with me, man. She handled me. What I didn't know, my mother didn't know, is she was retiring. Right?
Soon,
She
like,
was one of the head founders of the San Diego Gate program, the Gifted and Talented Education programs.
right?
She did that because she wanted to like experience something different her last couple years. She referred me over to get tested, and my IQ was like 149. My mom wasn't supposed to tell me, but she did. It was a fucking mistake, probably. But anyways, I have to go to a whole new school. Had my own like computer class, like my computer module. We did everything on computers. We did nothing on paper.
She did
Completely
you a
advanced class.
favor. She did you a
But you
favor.
know where that school was at?
What?
The only school in the whole county that had that program at that time in 1986, 87. I'm sorry, 87. Barrio Logan.
Well,
So
actually,
all
actually, that worked out really well for you, I think.
no, I lived in Linda Vista, so I had to go across the
Oh,
city.
you had to go from there to that. Oh, it was like busing.
They were busing kids in from all the
Yeah.
way out in like San Diego State, all over the city of San Diego. They were
Wait a
busing kids out.
second. Are you telling me you took the little yellow school bus to go to school? Is
No,
that what you're
unfortunately,
saying?
I had a very big school bus, but yeah,
Uh,
I had to take the bus every morning. It
oh
sucked.
man.
But you know what, though? It was the best time of my life because I actually felt at home, like I was being taught by people that understood me.
No, talk to me
Guess what happened? I
seriously.
broke a tear. Hold up. Listen, I'm not done.
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
broke a tear the other day because I picked a gate teacher up, right?
Right?
And we're talking, and somebody got on that topic, and she was like, the gate program doesn't exist anymore. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, we shut it down last year. I was like, why? Why would you shut down an elite class? Like that made California like we
Who is
created all
this
the
you were
people.
talking to? Who is this
A
woman?
teacher from the gate program. Listen, let me finish. We shut it down because they can't find enough people to fill the classes anymore.
Huh.
There's not enough geniuses in California anymore, apparently.
Not enough what?
Geniuses, people that were gifted enough to be in that class. There was no need to fund it anymore. They got rid of it because
Oh,
it
they're
didn't make
there.
sense anymore.
They're there. They're just not looking for them.
Well, no, what she said is everybody went to private school, right? The ones that are geniuses are in private schools. She's like, there's not a need for a public gate program anymore
Okay,
because
you keep saying
public
Jesus.
schools.
What's Jesus?
So if you look up the IQ test, right, which is not a perfect test, there's a lot of flaws in it, right? But there's
Okay.
a basic basis. If your IQ is about 100 to 110, you're a normal human being, right? You're
Okay.
probably going to be successful in your life. You can conversate. You're a fully functioning, 100% smart human being, right? You can get straight A's.
Okay.
120, 120 means that you can innovate. You're like a different level of like intelligence, but you're still pretty much normal. You hit 130, You started getting to that red zone where you could do anything you want.
It's kind of
140 and up,
it's kind of like
140 and up, 140 and up could be trained to do anything in the world and learn anything fast, right?
well, it's kind of like us when we conversate. Like I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the world, but I know I'm not an idiot.
You don't have to be.
And it's the
My
same
teachers,
thing with you, and that's why we like talking to each other. Like
well, no, the whole thing is, my teacher told me when I left the gate program, right?
okay,
She knew I loved cars. She
right?
asked me, "What's a Ferrari? You like Ferraris?" I was like, "Yeah, they're beautiful. They're the fastest car in the world at the time they were. Love them." She was like, "So what's a Ferrari with flat tires?" Like, it's slow, not going anywhere, stuck. She's like, "What's a Ferrari with a broken transmission?" It's the same thing. She's like, "That's a genius with no drive, a genius with no passion, a genius that loses his way."
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was like, "But the Toyota Camry or the Ford pickup truck could go a lot further because they have drive. They're natural. They don't expect too much. They just go in and they do what they have to do. You have to have that mentality and continue doing what you have to do and growing. If you don't, you're gonna end up broken on the side of the road." Fucking beautiful. She talked to each one of us in a different way because she knew each one of us were triggered by certain shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right,
She was right.
I'm sidetracking you a little bit here.
I simply broke down. I got into alcohol, started smoking way too much weed in high school,
Oh,
just doing
dude,
everything stupid.
we're talking the same language. I mean,
Huh?
it's so, you know what's so cool for me? Like, honestly, I met you at the Uber parking lot at San Diego
Right.
Airport. Like, I didn't know shit about you, and honestly, I still don't know shit about you, your background. But we've been talking. It was so cool the other day because we have like the detail background. Like, I share a bond with you when
We're in
I
Southern California, baby.
I
No matter
listened.
what.
I
If
listened
you,
to your passion about detailing cars, and it was the same thing for me. And then,
right.
like, were
It
you
was an art.
surprised? Like, do you remember how, like, I knew how you were gonna say milk in the trunk? Like,
Right.
did you? Did
I
you?
wasn't surprised because you said you were a detailer.
You're
You
right.
said you owned your shop. So I know you've been through
Detailer
some
no
stuff
shit.
too.
No, there's some
I knew.
detailers. Yeah, there's detailers that don't know shit. And I took a pride. I took a passion in
You had
detailing.
a shop.
Right. But
Anybody that
you
starts a
took like
detail
what you
shop.
described to me, like the extent that you went to, like going to the 3M and all the classes and the level and the marketing, like I was nowhere near that. Like I was just some dude trying to make money.
I was fortunate because I had a family that really emphasized all that. My grandfather was a master craft concrete mason.
Well, when you were
You know what I mean? And
describing
before that,
your detail shop and the levels and this and that, like me in Solana Beach on Coast Highway, I just had locals, and that's honestly because my hips were fucked up, my body, everything, like, and I couldn't find the right workers, and I was good with what I had.
but you had the passion to do it. Anything you do in the world has, if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to be good at it.
My
I don't
greatest
care what it is.
moment, my greatest moment at that shop, hilarious, hilarious. I'm, I got this old Bronco. You know the Broncos with the roll bars on top,
Yep.
and there's like this white tarp over the top, and I spray on this solution uh,
Uh,
to get
did you
all.
make sure it was compatible?
Well, it dripped along the paint, and it was this orangish like pumpkin paint Bronco, right?
Right. It left a streak mark. It
Oh my
left
god!
marks.
Oh my god! The top, the canvas
You're,
was bright
you're,
white.
you know,
I cleaned
you're
the
lucky it
shit.
was open.
I cleaned the
You're
shit
lucky it
out
was
of that.
open. All your that shit out. New cars, you can't polish it out with the clear coat. That was an old car, so it had paint. You could
Dude,
polish that out and make it look
you know
nice.
those buffing pads with like the little spaghetti string sheep hair. Like you got the foam
Yeah,
pads.
yeah. The
I'm
foam pads are yeah, yeah.
I cleaned that pad like about probably 30 fucking times. I spent
You killed him. You made that car look amazing, but you probably took off like a quarter of his fucking paint.
So get this. All right, so now you get where I'm going with this, okay? So get this. I'm just trying to clean the top, for 50
Right.
bucks. And I'm in my office and I hear this chick go, "Oh fuck." Like, "Oh my god, what happened?" Like I go back around and she's around this, I don't know what year this old Bronco was. She's like, "Is this my Bronco?" Like, because I spent about 3 hours just getting the bleed lines off the orange paint of that. Oh my God.
Right, right.
I was
It's
just,
lighter. You
I
gotta,
was just trying to clean the top.
and you were like, "Fuck, dude, did I miss something?"
No, no, like I didn't know who it was or like, I didn't know
Liked
who.
it though. Liked it though. I guarantee you, whoever it was liked the car. They're like, "Oh my god,
Yeah, like,
fucking looks brand."
oh, I got like at least like six other references because of
Let
that.
me tell you a story. Quick story. Similar situation, right?
Okay.
I have this Mexican kid I'm training. He's good. He's really good on the buffer. He's good on a lot of shit, natural.
Right.
But he's fucking, you know, I think he knows what he's doing. He has a couple years of experience, whatever, right? So this old school Corvette comes in with fucking magnesium rims, right? Non-coated magnesium rims.
Ouch. Yeah, those are touchy.
And I would have done things a lot different. I would have let the fucking car cool down first before I touched it, because even water could stain those rims if they're hot. This
No.
motherfucker sprays. You already know where I'm going with this. He
Yeah,
sprays
yeah.
fucking. He sprays fucking wheel cleaner on him, and then sprays it off. And the fucking rim, the first rim was so fucked up. He came in screaming like, "Oh my god, what did I do? What did I do?" I
Yeah,
was like, "What
they're
the fuck did you
etched.
do?"
They're etched. Like they're just burned.
I got. And I went to polish it. I couldn't get it out. It was so deep. I could not
Uh,
do shit to it. Right.
right.
So what I did was I got lucky. I went online and I found a fucking rim. Same tire, same rim. I got lucky as fuck, dude. This guy was selling it in Santee. I guess his son had wrecked the fucking fiberglass Corvette.
So you jumped in your car, bought the rim, took the
Brought it
fucking
back.
tire off, went to Discount Tire, had them remount it, do all that.
Fuck that. I went to the Mexican shop. They take too long. The Mexican shop had it done in like 20 minutes.
No
I went down to
shit.
Barrio and slapped that shit on, gave the guy a $20 tip, and fucking went back. It cost me 110 bucks, right?
That's so above
We get
and beyond. That's so above and beyond. It's like ridiculous.
the guy gets off work. He comes down. He looks at the car. I was praying he didn't notice because that rim was slightly lighter than the other rims.
Right?
Slightly, like a pinch lighter.
Only
Like,
you
fuck.
would notice that, or me, or like very few people would even.
Right, dude. That guy, he paid $350 for the detail, and the kid did the rest of it. He killed it. You know, while I was gone, I was like, just don't fuck those rims up. Don't touch the rims with anything.
Right.
Let it cool down.
Right.
I get back 2 hours later, fucking put the rim on it real quick. Done. We go through the car. The guy comes in at like 5 in the afternoon, 5:30, right before we close. $300. He gave us a $150 tip. He's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." He basically, and I told the kid, I was like, "This is my fucking money. I paid $100 for that rim and $20 to install it. And spent my whole fucking day when I could have been productive making money, running around the fucking county for this shit. So that's my tip." He goes,
Exactly.
"Yeah, man. I'm sorry, bro."
You don't have
I
to
was like, "Well, I
explain
can take."
nothing. You don't have to explain shit to this dude.
No, you do in the state of California. You're not supposed to take tips if you're the owner, unless you're the only one that worked on it. So since he worked on it, I had to explain to him like, this is not illegal. Either that, or I could dock your paycheck.
Well,
Either way, I'm gonna
let
give
me
him
ask
paycheck.
you this. I'm changing the subject a little bit. What do you think about the brake dust on Beamers?
Fucking why? Why so much?
Like,
Are the people assholes who drive crazy,
like out of
or is it
all
the
the cars, I've detailed, and I've detailed a shitload of cars. Um, I don't know why
always
Beamers.
BMW's problem? Not Porsches, not Mercedes, fucking BMWs.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
but I found it was a Malco product. It was called Breakoff.
yeah. Well, I didn't use that. I used Zymo. They had a special
Well,
chemical.
no,
that
like if you
didn't
use break off, you had to let the fucking rim cool off.
cool, all the way cool.
Not all the way, but like the dude rolled in. Like I was in Solana Beach, and he's rolling in from Mission Valley, and you just sprayed break off on it. You got like about 2 seconds to pressure wash that shit off.
That shit down quick.
Right. And guess what? It was gold. Like it would disappear. Like poof. Try telling
Yeah.
like the guys I worked with, like, look, dude, a beamer comes in, use this break off, high pressure that fuck, like as soon as you spray it, like you better have the high pressure ready. Oh man.
I was lucky. I had a lift, a small lift in my shop. So with BMW, especially when I was doing a full detail, I take the whole car and lift it, right, and pop all the tires off, and I had this big water bin. I throw them in the water bin and had like a little bit of solution in it, right?
Right.
And let it sit while we're detailing the car. We drop the car back down to standard height, detail it, pull that shit out, pressure wash it, everything inside and out would come out like a brand new rim.
Nice.
You don't know.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening, man. I'm just learning. It's gonna get better. I really appreciate you guys following. Keep watching, man. It's gonna get good, man. You're gonna love it. Love you, man.